excuse.
Now
I
we
don't want to
gotta
hear
think
no
about it. They gonna be
excuse.
like,
No excuse.
No
if Golden
excuse.
Niggas
get
put their
hurt,
ass
we
off
would
to
have
be
been going.
here. Okay? We done play almost every team. Good, bad. Almost every team. This shit ain't no easy way out. It's work. My nigga go to work at 6 a.m. and get out at 7. And then keep on working. 6 days a week.
And you know what's crazy?
Ain't
During some of
no
the
fucking shortcut.
Cardi B out here turning into the loudest hype woman in the NFL streets because she is not playing about Stefon Diggs at all. Cardi has been praising that man heavy, talking about there being no easy way out, no shortcuts, no overnight success, and she's breaking down his schedule like she's the team's strength and conditioning coach. She said this man allegedly goes to work at 6 a.m. and doesn't clock out until 6 p.m., day in and day out, and she made it very clear that anybody calling his success luck or easy is out of their mind. And let's be real, when Cardi starts talking work ethic, she's not just chatting, she's framing a whole narrative. Now, let's get into the receipts, because according to what's been circulating online and what Cardi herself has been saying, there's a lot of chatter about the Patriots allegedly having an easy schedule. Fans, critics, armchair analysts, everybody suddenly becomes a football expert when someone starts winning. Cardi jumped right into that conversation and basically said, cut the nonsense. According to her, allegedly, there is no such thing as an easy schedule in the NFL, and anybody saying otherwise has clearly never had to show up every Sunday with their body on the line. She framed it as disrespectful, not just to Stefon Diggs, but to the teams they're facing, because you still have to beat who's in front of you. Here's where it gets interesting, because Cardi didn't stop at defending him. She escalated it. She allegedly said that from now on, they're winning every team that comes their way. Every single one. No fear, no excuses, no well, the refs, or no bad weather. That's big talk, especially in a league where momentum shifts fast. And it really makes you wonder if this is just girlfriend energy or if she's tapping into something Diggs himself believes behind closed doors. Because confidence like that usually doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built off what you're seeing at practice and film sessions, and in those long days nobody else sees. Let's be real for a second. When Cardi B starts talking about schedules, discipline, and consistency, it hits different than when a random fan tweets it. She's seen what grind culture really looks like in music, and she's allegedly seeing the same thing up close in football now. She made a point to highlight that Stefon Diggs isn't just showing up for games. He's showing up every morning, every meeting, every workout. That's no light work. And that 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. schedule she keeps emphasizing, that's her way of saying, stop playing with this man's name. Now, the betting comment is what really had people talking. Cardi allegedly said she's ready to put some cash on Stefon Diggs' next big win, which is bold, loud, and very on brand for her. On one hand, it sounds playful. On the other hand, it sounds like supreme confidence. And if this is true, it's very concerning for anybody rooting against them. Because when an athlete's partner is this locked in, it usually means morale is high and pressure is being handled internally. Still, some fans are side-eyeing it, wondering if she's jinxing the team or putting too much energy into the hype. Social media, of course, did what social media does. Some people are praising Cardi for being supportive and informed, saying she's actually watching the games and learning the sport. Others are allegedly accusing her of talking too much, saying she should stay in her lane. But that criticism feels tired. It really makes you wonder why people are so uncomfortable when a woman, especially a black woman, speaks confidently about sports. Nobody blinks when rappers talk basketball or football, but Cardi breaks down a schedule and suddenly it's a problem? What also stood out is how Cardi framed the idea of winning. She didn't say, we hope or we'll try. She said they are winning every team that comes their way. That's manifestation talk. That's locker room energy. And allegedly, that kind of belief can either fuel a team or put a target on their back. Opposing fans are already bookmarking her statements, waiting for a slip-up. But if Diggs keeps performing, all that noise is going to age very badly. And let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Cardi openly admitted she never thought she'd be this invested in football, but now she's all in. That transition is actually important because it shows how relationships can pull you into entirely new worlds. She's allegedly learning the game, respecting the grind, and defending her man against narratives she feels are lazy or dismissive. That's not just fandom, that's alignment. And in a high-pressure sport like football, that support system matters more than people want to admit. Because here's the part people keep glossing over. Confidence like this doesn't just come from love, it comes from proximity to the grind. Cardi isn't hyping Stefon Diggs off highlight reels alone. She's allegedly watching the day-to-day, the exhaustion, the soreness, the mental toll. When she says there's no easy way out, that's not a slogan, that's a rebuttal to everybody online acting like success just fell into his lap. And let's be real, the NFL is designed to humble you. If you're surviving week after week, that's earned, not gifted. Now, about this whole easy schedule narrative, let's call it what it is, cope. Every season, fans pick one team and say they're only winning because the schedule is soft. But allegedly, those same fans never keep that energy when their own team loses to a so-called weak opponent. Cardi calling that out matters because it exposes how people move the goalposts when they don't like the outcome. You beat who's in front of you, period. There's no asterisk in the standings. What's also interesting is how Cardi keeps emphasizing time, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's 12 hours, and that's just what she's willing to say publicly. That doesn't include recovery, film at home, mental prep, or the emotional pressure of performing under constant scrutiny. That's no light work, that's a lifestyle. And if this is true, it explains why she's so defensive, because she sees how much is being sacrificed for those wins people dismiss so casually. Let's talk about the betting comment again, because that shook people more than it should have. Cardi saying she's ready to put cash on Stefon Diggs' next big win isn't just bravado, it's symbolic. It's her saying, I believe so much, I'm willing to risk something. And allegedly, that mindset mirrors how elite athletes think. They don't hedge their confidence publicly, they say it with their chest. Of course, the internet loves to scream jinx, but that superstition mostly comes from fans who already expect disappointment. There's also a gender angle here that nobody wants to admit. When a male celebrity bets on his friend or talks trash about a team, it's competitive. When Cardi does it, suddenly it's doing too much. It really makes you wonder why assertiveness is celebrated in some people and policed in others. Especially when she's not tearing anyone down, she's building someone up. That double standard is loud even if people pretend not to hear it. Another layer is how Cardi is reframing fandom. She said she never thought she'd become a big football fan, yet here she is defending schedules, routines, and outcomes like a seasoned supporter. That matters culturally because it shows how sports fandom doesn't have to look one way. You don't need to grow up watching the game to respect it deeply. Sometimes it takes proximity to the work to really understand what's at stake. And let's be honest for a second. This level of public support can be fuel or fire. If Stefon Diggs keeps winning, Cardi's comments are going to age like wine. If there's a rough patch, critics are going to replay every confident statement like it's evidence. That's the risk of speaking boldly. But allegedly, people who are truly confident accept that risk. Silence is safer, but it doesn't move culture. What I find most telling is how Cardi is certain about the future. From now on, they're winning every team that comes their way. That's cautious optimism. That's belief bordering on prophecy. Whether that comes true or not, it sets a tone. It tells opponents, fans, and critics that this camp is not operating from fear. And in competitive environments, mindset can shift outcomes more than people want to admit. So, zooming out for a second, this story isn't really about football schedules or betting. It's about respect. Respect for labor, respect for discipline, respect for people who show up every day and still get told their wins don't count. Cardi is pushing back on that narrative loudly, unapologetically, and in real time. And honestly, that's why it's rubbing some folks the wrong way, because it challenges comfortable excuses. Alright cousins, now I want to hear from y'all. Do you think Cardi B is right to go this hard for Stefon Diggs, or do you think she's setting him up for unnecessary pressure? Is the easy schedule talk valid criticism or just hate in disguise? And would you put money on your partner's next big win the way she's talking about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, be sure to subscribe, and as always, but that's all I have for you and I'll talk to you later. God bless you all.